Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the exact same spot I was sitting the last time you saw me, and I filmed the last video about 5 seconds ago. So welcome back to my bedroom as I am doing some filming this morning. I have some time. I have some videos written out, so we're just rolling with it. So today we are going to be talking about 5 mistakes to avoid on the beginning or on your ZEPBOUND journey in general. If you're new here, my name is Brittany and I have lost 85 pounds on Mounjaro Mounjaro, ZEPBOUND or Zeptide, whatever you want to call it, since November of 2022. And I have learned a lot. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've done some good stuff and I've done a lot of research. I'm a research girly at heart. I love to read things. I love to learn things. I love to study things. It's just in my DNA. So I share that information that I learn and research with you guys here. And if you would love to subscribe, I would love to have you join along in the fun. So like I said, today we're talking about 5 mistakes to avoid. And these are all ones, I'm pretty sure these are all mistakes that I have made. Maybe one of them I haven't, but the rest of them I have. So I'm speaking from experience today, ladies and gents, when I talk about the things that I have done wrong that I don't want you to do wrong. So number 1, this one's important, is not eating enough food. Not eating enough food. Okay. When you don't eat enough food, and enough food to me is like 1,500 calories a day. Don't believe these people that tell you that you can eat 1,200 calories a day and sustain your metabolism and all of your muscle mass and lose weight without putting stress on your body, because you can't unless you're a child. You just can't. When you don't eat enough, it kills your metabolism. Essentially your metabolism and your body will go into starvation mode and it'll think, oh my gosh, I need to hold on to all of this weight because she's not giving me any food. She's starving me. So I'm going to hold on to it all. I'm not going to release any of it. And people don't seem to understand that when they starve themselves, they end up with the opposite effect of what they wanted, which was weight loss, right? So eating enough calories a day. Now, I am not a proponent of counting calories. You'll know that if you've been around. But I do think that it's prudent in the beginning a little bit to count, or to at least kind of mentally keep track of what you're eating so that you can make sure that you're eating enough. Or another tip is, if you haven't eaten in a couple of hours, get up and eat something small. A hard-boiled egg, some veggies with veggie dip, a fruit smoothie, a protein bar, a protein shake, something so that you are just constantly, if you get in the habit of, okay, it's been 3-4 hours since I ate, so I just need to go eat something. I know that kind of goes against the whole thing of eat when you're hungry, but the thing is, on the ZEPBOUND, especially when you're new to it, you're not gonna be, especially once you get to the like 5, 7.5, 10 milligram dosages, you're not going to be hungry most of the time. Like, I can't tell you the last time I was hungry. I don't know. I have no clue. I just have learned that my body needs fuel and that I have to eat. So even if you're not hungry on Mounjaro, your body still needs fuel. And eventually, if you don't give it to it, it's going to go into starvation mode. You're not going to lose any weight and you're going to end up feeling terrible. I have had comments of people saying like, oh, you eat more than I do, in real life and on YouTube. Like, you eat way more than I do and you lost all this weight and I can't lose anything. And I want to be like, you're probably not eating enough. You have to sort of find that sweet spot for yourself and for your body, where your body is satisfied enough to where it'll let go of weight. And there is like this sweet spot for everybody, and you just gotta kind of play around with it. For me, it's always, even prior to GLP-1, when I was losing weight years and years ago, it's always been around 1,600 calories a day. If I started to eat less than that, if I got in my head and was like, I'm eating too much food, and I tried to eat less, I would not lose weight. I just wouldn't. My body wouldn't let it go. And then if I go any higher than that, I mean, I could push it to like 1,800 a couple days a week, but other than that, I wouldn't lose any weight either. So I have this sweet spot, and I believe that most people do. So experiment and find yours, but you got to make sure you're eating, or I promise you, you're going to do your body more harm than good. Number 2 is a big mistake that I made, and that was not exercising, but not just exercising, because I did that. I walked a lot, more specifically, not losing weight. When you lose weight quickly, you more often than not lose a higher percentage of muscle mass than you do fat loss. Now, with that is a lot of bad stuff. It hurts your metabolism even more. If you lift weights, even if they're just light weights, and you continue to build muscle or at least maintain the muscle that you have, if you get your muscles working, if you fire up your muscles and put some juice in them, your metabolism speeds up. There's so many studies on this that suggest that people who lift weights regularly have a naturally higher metabolism because their metabolism is being run more by the work that they put on their muscles. Like it's taking more, kind of revs up your engine, if you know what I mean. So first off, it'll help your metabolism and help your overall weight loss, but also other than that, it'll help the way you look. It'll help the way you feel. It'll help with like how weak or how strong you feel. And if you are somebody who does not lift any weights, you're probably not going to look very toned or fit when you lose weight relatively quickly. Have you ever seen those people that have like gastric bypass and they lose a ton of weight really quickly, which I'm not knocking. Like you do you. Like if I was in that point in life back when weight loss surgery was big, I probably would have chosen that. But that's kind of what I mean here, where they like everything just kind of drops because you're losing weight so fast. And most often, especially in weight loss surgery, you're too weak and you're too restricted to lift weights for a while. And so it's counterproductive every single time. So lift your weights, trust me, even if you just get 2 5-pound dumbbells and whatever. My doctor that I used to work for a long time ago, he used to tell people to get soup cans, like older people. And he was like, if you don't want to get up and exercise, get some soup cans and do bicep curls with the soup cans. It'll work your muscles. Even if you get the heavier soup cans, your muscles will work, I promise. And I was like, is it really that simple? I don't know. Never did it, but that's what he used to tell the older generation. Number 3, this is also a mistake that I made in the beginning. And I think that if I had done this tip, that my side effects would have been much more managed. And that is not tracking. So tracking your side effects. So not necessarily tracking like every bite of food that you put in your mouth. Tracking when you feel bad, like what time of day is it? Why do you think you feel bad? Did you over exercise? Did you overeat? Did you eat a specific thing? So writing down like, oh, I feel really awful right now and I had a cupcake an hour ago. So feel bad, ate a cupcake. And you start to see if there's patterns of evolving in this process. And then you can say, okay, so for 3 days after I take my shot, I cannot eat sweets or I cannot eat fried foods. For me, it's actually both of them. Well, not as much sweets as it is fried foods. If I eat fried foods or drink alcohol, which I don't do very often, but if I do either of those things within the first few days after a shot, I am sick. Like, we'll get up in the middle of the night, throwing up, sick. Sorry for TMI, but that is what it is. So yeah, in the beginning though, I made that mistake quite often. I can remember specifically one time we went to Chick-fil-A I went with my son, and I ate like grilled nuggets because I can't have their fried nuggets because I'm allergic to peanuts, and fries, but just that, like the fries, I was like throwing up and it was awful. So I have learned no fried foods for 3 days. So again, keep a journal, write down, this made me sick, this made me feel great, or whatever, so that you can start to develop your own body's pattern, and therefore you can control your side effects better, because if you don't eat the things that make you upset, then you won't get upset. So that's probably my biggest tip. Like seriously, like that would have saved me so much headache in the very beginning if I had like thought up that trick in the beginning. It would have been so much better. Thankfully now it doesn't always matter to me much anymore. But in the beginning it was rough, and I never learned my lesson. I'm spending a lot of time on this one, but I actually have a friend now who just started tirzepatide, the compound version, and she's only on the 2.5 milligram dosage, and she has been sick as a dog for, I think, like 5 weeks now. And she mentioned that she hasn't really changed her diet much. I'm like, well, that's probably why. And I don't think she necessarily wanted to hear that, but I'm like at some point, like you can't just go eat crap. You have to, like, if you do, you're gonna regret it. And hopefully you learn your lesson very quickly. But once I said that to her, I kind of was like, oh, well, you know, have you changed your diet? Have you noticed I kind of phrased it differently. I was like, have you noticed it's like if you eat fried foods, you get upset? And she started thinking, she was like, huh, yeah. So hopefully I kind of got her wheels a turning and she is going to be making the changes. But yeah, it would have saved me a lot of heartache and a lot of throwing up and a lot of things if I'd have done this trick sooner. Number 4, losing weight too fast. This kind of goes along with the lifting or exercising, lifting weights thing. If you lose weight really fast, you're going to wreck your metabolism. You're going to lose muscle mass. There's just no way to avoid muscle loss, really in any weight loss, unless you're lifting a lot of weights. But when you lose weight rather quickly, you're losing muscle. Like, it's just a fact of life. And that's actually when I was talking to my doctor about it recently, about the craze and how the shortage is because everybody wants this medicine. He was like, yeah, well, you should see the Ozempic face that I see, is what he said. Because, you know, that's how it's coined online. He said people will come in, their faces are drooped, their butts are drooped. They lost all this weight, but they look awful because they just lost it so fast and they didn't allow their body time to heal. So I lost a lot of weight. I mean, I would say I lost like 30 to 40 pounds in the first 3-ish months. But then after that, it really slowed down. And I think that allowed my body time to catch up and time to, like, my skin to bounce back and my body and my hormone levels to rebalance out and all of that. But he says that he'll see people that are like 30 pounds down in a month and they just look like a ghost and they look weak and they look pale. And you can tell that they're just probably not eating, that they took this shot and they're not forcing themselves to keep up nutritionally, which is critical. Like, you have to do it. There are a lot of, scientists and doctors out there now who are talking about the risks of an eating disorder with the GLP-1 medications. And while I think that's a very touchy subject to get into, I can see it. That's kind of all I'm going to say about that. I could see the possibility of that developing, especially if you have tendencies leaning towards that already. So yeah, losing weight fast does not equal better weight loss. The turtle wins the race, or the whatever the saying is, the turtle and the hare, you know. The people that do it right the first time end up winning in the end. So again, making sure that you're eating enough, making sure that you're exercising and lifting weights, making sure that you're taking care of yourself nutritionally so that you can feel your best throughout this entire process is absolutely vital. And if you are losing weight really quickly, I would recommend talking to your doctor about that so that you guys can get on the same page nutritionally. A nutritionist would be great for that, because she or he would be able to help you with what you need to be eating, how often you need to be eating, all of that. That could be super helpful. But yeah, fast weight loss does not equal better weight loss. And number 5, this is always on my lists. Every time I do a list like this is on it. And that is hydration. Y'all, water helps with it all. It helps your skin. I mean, again, I do this every time. It helps your skin. It helps you poop. It helps your hair. It helps every system in your body function the way that it should and needs to. So you gotta make sure that you're staying hydrated. A lot of people will take like a hydration electrolyte type supplement. I never did. I never felt necessary to. The only time I did was when I would walk. If it was really hot, I would do like a liquid IV. But that's not something that I've done regularly. Occasionally this summer when I was at the pool, but just making sure that you're staying hydrated is literally crucial for if you're on a GLP-1 or not. You got to drink your water and you got to eat your fiber. Those two things will help with constipation issues that come along with ZEPBOUND. Eating a lot of like leafy green vegetables, although some people, like I personally, if I eat a lot of salad, it upsets my stomach. But you know, again, writing it down, finding what's best for you, but you got to stay hydrated. That's a non-negotiable. Like, you got to drink your water, all the water. If you think you haven't had enough, drink more. If you think you have had enough, drink even more. Like, you need your water all the time. So yeah, those are my 5 things or 5 mistakes to avoid when you're on your ZEPBOUND GLP-1 journey. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and the emoji of the day will be a thumbs up. And I will see you guys on Friday. I think we're gonna do a what I eat in a day video, a like back to school style one, because my kids went back to school. I'm gonna have, you know, more time to do all of the things. So yeah, that's what you can look forward to on Friday this week. My new like regular schedule is going to be Monday, Wednesday, and Friday postings. Hopefully I can keep up with that if I don't hold me to it. So thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I will see you soon. Bye guys.